Welcome to the Gastlecast. We're glad you're there. You get the right time. We got an all-time high. Funko's hot toys and charms on mine. Stick around, like, comment, and be sure to subscribe because life's a little better when you have some Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you have some Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you have some Chris and Heather. And remember, at these hour walls, we are together. Yes.
Well, can you believe it? Funko is back in the news again for doing some dumb shit.
Are you saying that they were out of the news for doing good shit?
No, you're right. I don't know what the I'm talking about.
Not only is Funko making really strange and what we feel not so great decisions for their brand, but they have recently acquired another company and they're taking them down too!
It! We're doing it live! Remember that guy?
Yeah, no one else is going to understand
It's one of my
reference.
favorite things ever. YouTube will do it live. You'll get it. You'll see the joke.
They're not laughing.
It's one of the best things that's ever happened ever.
In case you missed it, we talked about this a little bit during one of our trip videos at some point. I don't even remember what we said, but basically, I think that this is a bunch of bull. So the company that we are talking about is Mondo, and Mondo is most known for their vinyl toys, their posters, and their vinyl records. They basically work with a bunch of artists from all over and make some really cool things.
Limited pieces, limited posters, limited figures. They do all sorts of cool stuff. In fact, recently they've been doing the Mondo Masters of the Universe figures. They also did a Mondo God of War Kratos figure, which was great. And they also did some X-Men animated series figures, which were awesome.
Yes, and their posters are incredible too. I know nothing about vinyl records.
No, I don't either. I don't, you know.
Yeah, so I can't speak on that, but people love them.
Yeah, they're highly collectible, but the posters are the biggest, I would say, the biggest thing about Mondo. Like, that's what people mostly know them for.
Yeah, I think so too, because since they work with so many different artists, I feel like people probably don't realize that a lot of the toys fall under the Mondo umbrella.
Exactly. So Mondo is known for many things, but in this video, we're going to specifically talk about most of their poster stuff because that is what a lot of people are concerned about right now. Based off of what the Big B posted the other day, the Big B being the CEO of Funko, he basically released a statement which never happens, basically stating that posters are not going away. They're going to continue to do posters, but they're not going to do them as limited as they were before, which in my opinion is not a good thing. Why not make more posters that are still at a low limited number? And I also speculate that they're going to do a pop and poster combo thing, which we might see.
I speculated that. You are just stealing my idea.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't speculate it.
I speculated that Funko would make a Funko Pop and a Funko poster, much like Loungefly and their pops and bags, and make them a limited count of 3,000 or maybe. Because it doesn't seem that limited to me. I feel like they're lying about the limited numbers.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right to me. There are bags and pops that don't sell out, and if there's only 3K of them, you figure that they would be eaten up really fast.
Yeah, especially that Masters of the Universe one with the sorceress.
Exactly.
That was up for a long time.
Anyway, that's the basis of this conversation. The one thing I guess you need to know across the board, this video is actually about something else, which has to do with Elijah Wood. Remember him from Lord of the Rings? And also Daniel Danger.
But before we get into all of the dramatics, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little bell to notify you anytime we post new content, and also hit the like button because you'll like it here. We're great.
We are great.
Tell all your friends.
And while we're telling you about that, we want to mention our small toy company called Mischief Toys. Go and check out mischieftoys.com, sign up for our newsletter. That way you'll find out the most up-to-date information about our toy company and our latest drops. You don't want to miss out, and check us out on Instagram at Mischief Toys. Follow us there because we post all sorts of cool stuff there as well.
Okay, so I would say most people probably know who Elijah Wood is, but I want to talk a little bit about Daniel Danger. And this is a name that has been included in many things, but I didn't know the name until the Dumpster Fire Daniel Danger collaboration came out.
All right, the little haunted house.
He did the haunted house, and it has like a little floaty guy in the fire.
That's like my favorite figure from that company ever.
Yes.
And I realized the other day that it already came out and I didn't get one. That's when this video takes a very depressing turn, where now I have to go and track this thing down.
So Daniel Danger is an illustrator and printmaker.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, incredibly talented. If you go to his website, tinymediaempire.com, you can see a lot of his works. They're gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. He is so talented. He's also played in a ton of bands, which are really cool, to include Casper Mask and The Saddest Landscape. Also, he's worked with so many people and on projects to include Crimson Peak, The Jungle Book, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Hannibal. He's worked with Mondo, with the Foo Fighters, Death Cab for Cutie.
Okay, he's got a laundry list of things that he worked with and people and how great it is.
One of my personal favorites, Me Without You. If you haven't heard of them, go and check them out. They are an incredible band.
Okay, so he's worked with a lot of really cool people. He's worked on a lot of really cool stuff. And the reason why we're bringing him up is because he posted his distaste on Twitter.
Yes, and it is incredible. It is like, you know how Twitter only allows you to do like a certain amount of words? I think it's like 200 or 200
like
characters or something.
Like that, yeah.
So it's like this long list of tweets just pounding the shit out of this statement, and I love it. But first, let's talk about Elijah Wood's small role in this. And I say small because it's only one tweet, but it speaks volumes. When Mondo posted the statement from Brian Mariotti, Elijah Wood retweeted it and said, "Wow, you fundamentally misunderstood Mondo, its extended family of artists, and its loyal fan base."
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's huge coming from him because he's worked with Funko in the past.
He
did like an interview with them. Of course, they've made Frodo Funko Pops. This is really big coming from a talent his size.
Yes, and Daniel Danger actually retweeted Elijah Wood's post, and he said, "You pissed off Elijah Wood, Funko. Now you're
Daniel Danger is the danger."
Actually, I think that's Walter White from Breaking Bad.
All right.
But
he worked on Breaking Bad at some point, right?
Maybe he was the danger.
Oh, see?
He is.
It's all coming together.
Full circle. Okay, so I'm really bad at Twitter, but I'm gonna try to piece this together as best I can.
Okay, Heather?
Daniel Danger posted, "Okay, let's go through this bullshit Funko statement because it's 11:30 p.m. I'm mad and extremely sober, but full of double stuffed Oreos."
Oh my God. That is the greatest way to start off any statement. I don't care where it's posted.
He posted a small snippet of the top of the Mondo statement saying, "Funko has been obsessed with Mondo and the amazing products that they produce for years. We believe Mondo is a pop culture tastemaker and always has their finger on the pulse of everything that is cool." In this tweet, Daniel Danger says, "First and foremost, the tastemakers you were obsessed with who were always on the pulse, question mark, because it makes no sense.
Right.
Bad news, you just fired them."
Yeah, that's true. So Funko went through and apparently tossed out 10% of its workforce. And I think that a lot of the Mondo people sort of fall in line with that.
So within the statement, Brian said, "While we did reduce our overall workforce by about 10% across Funko, the majority of the company-wide layoffs weren't in Mondo." That, to me, like I mentioned in our previous video where we did talk about this, says Funko is this big, Mondo is this big, so therefore I can say that even though we laid off about 10% of our workforce, most of that 10% wasn't in Mondo because
Mondo isn't big enough. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so my guess is that he's using this terminology because they probably did lay off a lot of people based off of the outrage coming directly from the artists, but he's trying to make it sound like it's not a big deal.
And rightfully so, because he needs to defend himself and shield himself as much as he possibly can, because people will come down on him, much like we're doing in this video.
They have every right to. And before we get too far in this, I do want to say that Funko is a business, and not only are they a business, but they are publicly traded. However, Mondo got bought by Funko. So obviously there was a reason that whoever owned Mondo sold them to Funko. Don't know what the reasoning was. However, I feel that taking something which a lot of people would probably consider pretty sacred and just completely undoing everything that they have done for the last however many years is garbage.
No, Heather, it's trash!
As you can tell, in my opinion, what Funko said in that statement is very bad news. A lot of people do agree, but there are a lot of people on the other side of the fence that say, oh, well, if Mondo wasn't doing so bad, then why would they get sold, blah, blah, blah.
I don't necessarily think this is because Mondo was doing poorly, because Mondo was selling stuff all the time and people were eating it up.
I'm saying a lot of people are saying just that.
But nobody knows anything. Don't listen to anybody. Just listen to us. We know what we're talking about.
Okay, so back to Daniel Danger's tweets, because I love these. In this, he posted another snippet of the Mondo statement saying that we feel that making extremely limited runs of posters, most of which are 150 pieces or under, limits access to fans unfairly. Many of these posters are bought with the sole purpose of flipping them at a much higher cost to fans that really want them. The posters are created by some of the most amazing artists working today. Our goal is to make larger edition size runs, limited but not ultra limited, that allow more fans to participate in this world-class expression of pop culture art. We also believe that broadening the pop culture scope to include TV properties, sports, anime, and music will have an amazing appetite from Mondo fans and pop culture fans alike.
What that says to me is that he's looking at the secondary market, and he's saying, the secondary market is making a lot of money. I want to make all that money, so let's up the amount that we make so we can make more money off of it. That's what all this is.
It is, and not only that, but the fact that he's acknowledging things being flipped, but he's not doing anything about the rules during cons, at stores, etc. The fact that they are allowing more than 2 per household. They are allowing bots on their website to roam freely.
He's turning a blind eye, Heather.
Daniel Danger replied, most were 150 pieces or under is a lie, or maybe you think that, once again proving you don't know about the company you bought. And the flipping, someone at Mondo once told me was like 5 to 8% in reality. Either way, you're Funko. You do not have a problem with flippers. And then he follows up that post with a thumbnail of Dr. Applesauce saying, will Funko fix this? New York Comic Con, which is essentially talking about their up lottery system at New York Comic Con.
Okay.
In this tweet, he says, don't white knight yourself about flippers now when half of SDCC is marked up Funko's purchased 30 minutes earlier from your booth by the bag load.
Absolutely, because people hang around the booths and they have those big gigantic bags and there's tons of them everywhere and they're actually flipping in front of the booth. So he's right. Why would you bring up flipping now after all this time of obviously knowing flipping is going on in the community?
Doubling the edition size 2.5 times the production time, and it scales upward in a bad way. If you want runs in the thousands of every release, I hope you're prepared to buy out and manage every major screen print shop in this country. Otherwise, sorry brah, ain't happening. There are printers who can tell you which certain colors require more drying time on the rack. You cannot throw money into thin air and create trade experience. All you could do is steal existing printers from established shops. Oh wait, they all love Rob, Mitch, and Eric. Dang, those are the 3 main guys that Funko said.
Oh.
Yeah. Screen printing at this level is hard. It is a craft that takes years to master. It's chemistry, it's pre-pressed software, it's color theory, it's fabrication, it's single pixel attention to detail, it's machine maintenance, it's weather, it's wrangling an imperfect medium. As mentioned in my other thread, scaling up screen printing production at Mondo quality would take years to be meaningful enough to double or triple production numbers. The possible output of flat stock screen print shops in the US hit a wall 5 years ago.
Wow. So he's talking about something I don't know a thing about, but he's talking about how it's almost impossible for them to print out posters that are the same quality as what Mondo was putting out in limited numbers. So basically, we're going to get crappy posters now, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to get the same quality.
Yeah, unless Funko's completely prepared for this.
Oh, did you see what happened with the warehouse stuff?
So in this little snippet of the Mondo statement that Daniel Danger is pointing out, they're basically talking about heavy production of vinyl records in the future, delivering more records to fans. They have plans to build an almost 70,000 square foot record pressing factory and live music event space in San Diego.
That is unbelievable. We read this the other day and I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought it was April Fool's joke. It came out early.
And it also says that the space will have a 4,000 square foot dedicated Mondo art gallery as part of the vision.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. With this, Daniel Danger says, I simply don't believe this one. Like, not a lick of it. Funko stock dropped 60% in the last year. You really think shareholders are going to watch you build a massive complex in San Diego for a brand you're already burying in the desert? Come the f*** on.
Yes, and yes, Daniel Danger. I like this guy.
Me too.
He knows what the f*** he's talking about. He is on point, hardcore.
As I mentioned earlier, he's had to have been in this business forever.
Well, doesn't it feel good that somebody actually agrees with us and they're speaking sort of the same, I guess, language that we have been for months? It's nice to hear somebody sort of echoing. Somebody
that actually knows about things besides us that just sit in front of a camera.
You're not trying to say we don't know anything. You're not saying that.
What do you know?
I know a lot of things.
Like what? One time, I watched you pour a bowl of cereal, and you did the milk first.
Some people got it, some people don't. Move on.
In this part of the statement that Daniel highlights, they're talking about Funko acquiring more licenses, larger licenses, to put on the Mondo posters.
Okay.
And he basically says these are dream licenses that Mondo has wanted to work with for a long time, but was unable to due to financial restrictions before we acquired them. First of all, that does not seem professional to me to just say, oh, well, they couldn't afford it and we can.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
It's a weird statement. It's like, look at me like I'm better, sort of.
Sort of, kind of, chest out. Well, what's Daniel say about this? That's what I want to know.
Another statement I simply do not understand. What are these magical mystery properties that everyone of Mondo past was so denied? Have you met Rob? He got to do Sad Peanuts merch and Judy Garland prints. He's good. I checked every last life-changing box myself. Sup. I don't know exactly what all that means. I really want to know, and I hope that I learn very soon. He's essentially saying there's no licenses that we wanted to do that we couldn't acquire.
Like, those are things that everybody wants to work with, but Mondo was able to do it. So what the hell are you talking about? Because we did get them.
In this statement, they're saying more licenses that will make Mondo more money, which will make Funko more money.
Well, of course. That's what this is all about.
That's what that means.
Let's up the scale of the amount of posters we're putting out. Let's make more money. And let's bury this thing like we've done everything else.
Yep. So at the very end of the Mondo statement, it says, we are 100% committed to providing all the support we possibly can for the folks at Mondo so they can continue to make amazing products that reach a larger and more diverse fan base through expanded licenses, better distribution,
okay,
and a better overall experience for their fans. Signed, Brian Mariotti. Daniel Danger says, you're 100% committed to providing support for everyone you didn't fire. Cool. Good for you. I'm sure they feel very safe and secure in their careers right now following the bloodbath you still haven't cleaned up.
Oh my God.
This is a train wreck of a statement. Embarrassing. Every former Mondo artist read it, mourned, and clocked out for good. They're gone, buddy. Good thing you still got those tastemakers you're obsessed with to find new artists to work with. Wait. You fired them. Darn. Mondo forever, but not your Mondo. The real one. Good luck, Brian. And then it's a gif of
the little Elmo thing with the chaos.
fire.
Yeah.
Then there's a meme of Will Smith saying, "Keep my Mondo logo out your Funko statement."
Oh my God. Wow, he went wild. And for good reason, because he is very defensive over the things that he loves. He's a big supporter of Mondo. He loves everything about Mondo. Now he's watching this large company take Mondo and sort of turn it into what Mondo should have never or should never been.
Absolutely. Like, I understand Funko's mindset wanting to mass produce things, but not something that is so beloved for its specialness, its limited nature, and the pure artistry that, I mean, Daniel Danger himself said it takes years to develop the knowledge needed to make such beautiful prints.
Right. So it's basically them butchering and cannibalizing what Mondo was to make it fit into the Funko way of living. And all it's going to do, in my opinion, is tear Mondo completely down. I mean, Mondo is pretty much, I think it's sort of like not even Mondo anymore, right? It's Funko
not
Mondo.
Going to be.
It's a new, it's a whole new thing.
You can print posters at a Walgreens pharmacy photo station, but they're not going to look like Mondo's printing. You know what I mean? And he even said, like, you can't mass produce this shit in a timely manner.
I know. It's a sad state of affairs. I hate seeing this happen, especially when it comes to a little company like Mondo. I thought this was going to be great, that Funko was acquiring them. I thought that something great would come out of this because Funko is larger. They do have more money. They would be able to do bigger things for Mondo. But based off what I'm hearing from, you know, Big B, I've got no support for it. Or faith.
I thought what it would do was sort of put Mondo more in the spotlight, but I completely forgot about the fact that when a business acquires another business, they can do whatever the f they want.
Yeah.
And who is Funko? An overproducing machine. And they're doing what they have done to their pops, and they're now turning Mondo's poster and vinyl record business, and I would assume their toy business, into just that.
It's sad. It really is. It's sad. And Daniel Danger and Elijah Wood have spoken out. And now we're speaking out because, listen, we're the Gastlecast. We had to put our say in there somewhere. Yeah. I know we read off of everything what Daniel Danger had to say, and I think that we sort of gave our thoughts and feelings about all this as well, along with him. I think we're in agreement with him.
Absolutely. And he gives a perspective that we as two people who aren't in the screen printing or art industry is able to provide better than we could. While we share the same thoughts, he did it in a much more, I don't want to say eloquent because he used a lot of curse words.
Fun way.
He did it in a more fun way than we could, and a more informative way.
Yes.
And a more mic droppy way.
Yeah. So now we want to know what you think about this. Are you excited to see what Funko does with Mondo after hearing what Big B had to say? Are you feeling doom and gloom similar to us and Daniel Danger and Elijah Wood? We would love to know your thoughts and more on this situation in the comment section down below. In every video, we like to shout out to some of our patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to Kevin Maxa, Al, Joshua Lerndall, Brandon Roy, Brendan Rowell, Ralphie's Funhouse.com, Paulie D's Pops, Matthew Matthias, Trina and Travis, and Pop Alex 223. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Thank you so much for staying until the very end of the video. We really appreciate your support. Make sure you check out PoppinOffToys.com and use promo code Gastlecast to get 10% off of your entire order. They have Funko Pops, Funko Sodas, Funko Mystery Minis. They've got all sorts of stuff over there. Check them out. PoppinOffToys.com, promo code Gastlecast for 10% off. All right, set time again. Remember, as always, we hunt together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.